Here's the deal. This energy is perfect for the show we have today. So here's the deal. Today we're talking about possession obsessions. Okay. That means a lot, right? Something that holds memories, something that has stories behind. Follow me here. Watch this. Okay, our first guest. She's a famed photographer, jewelry designer. Her name is Monica Rich-Kosan. She actually started this conversation in 2016. I don't know if you ever saw this. I'm going to take you back to 2016, Tamron Hall. This is me in 2016 on the cover of a book. The book, as you see, it's called A Possession Obsession, What We Cherish and Why. Monica met a host of people, personalities, celebrities, and I got an email saying, you know, this person wanted to meet you and ask this critical question: what's your possession obsession? And I'm thinking like, well, I don't know what to answer. I don't know. I looked around my house and all these things, and what I'm holding on the cover is a framed picture of the house that was my very first home in Luling, Texas. So if you're from the South, that's what they used to call a shotgun shack. You go in the front door and you could see, oh, I get emotional. Because that's the first place I ever called home. That was my pawpaw's house in Luling, Texas. And at the time I took the picture for Monica's book, I had no idea that eventually, like anything, things change and the house is no longer standing. But I have the picture in my current home, and it means so much to me, right? Because you can look back at your life, and that, I used to climb underneath that house with my cousins. You know, my grandfather had cinder blocks as the stairs, and his little rocking chair in the air conditioner in the front window. That's my story, right? So now fast forward, that was 2016, the picture's still in my house, and they asked me again, what's your possession obsession? I've wrangled over this because everything keeps going back to my son, my possession obsession, but it's supposed to be something that's not a human. So I'm working on this answer. And I start talking to my cousin, Erica Hall, who lives in Katy, Texas. And I said, what's your possession obsession? She's like, I'm not obsessed with anything material. I don't have a possession obsession. And then I said, think of it this way. God forbid there was an emergency, a fire. What would be the one thing you'd leave that house with? I never knew this. She's kept every birthday card that her mother, who's now in her 80s, has given her. Every card. I think we even have a picture of Erica holding her cards. I never knew this about her. This is her possession obsession. Her mom is in her 80s, and she'll always have those cards with her mother's signature, right? So, what's your possession obsession? What does it say about you? Tam Fam, the woman who started this conversation, who called me out of the blue one day and said, can you be on my book cover? A possession obsession, Monica Rich-Kosan. Come on out, Monica! In 2016, yes. I was single, living in Tribeca.
Very cool apartment.
Very cool apartment. Yes. The one the elevator opened up.
Yes.
Life is not like that now. I met Kids Bop and other things.
That's true.
But it's so interesting you posed this question. What inspired that at the time?
Well, my roots are in photography. So as a photographer, I was very much about telling people stories. And I did it with my eye and my camera. And I used to also collect all kinds of vintage pieces, cigarette cases, lockets. And I used to, I like on a whim, started to put my clients' photos in there. And I would bring them as gifts. And my clients started to say, oh, this is amazing. Oh, this mug. Did you know that this mug was from my grandmother's house? And did you know that this bowl has been in my family for years? Or this ring means so much to me because my husband gave it to me during a very difficult period. And we started to talk about all these, it's called possession obsession, but it's not a monetary thing.
Right, because that's the thing. When I said it to Erica, she's like, well, there's no material thing I can't live without. And I said, it's not a value.
Right.
It's like that house.
Yes.
The picture of that house that
Right.
doesn't exist.
But it also connects people. So what happened, like when you and I met, that was the first time we met.
Yeah.
And after I met you and you started to talk about this photo and the story behind it and what it meant to you, by the time I left, you and I were best friends.
Right, we knew each other.
We knew each
because
other.
You see someone's soul in their stories. I love this also. We had just met. This picture was on my bathroom floor.
Yeah.
Because we were looking for good light in my apartment. She was like, can you sit on the bathroom floor? I'm like, okay. You have what? Usher was in the book. A lot of celebrities
That
you
was fun
reached.
to photograph.
That was fun to photograph. Usher, Tony Goldwyn. So.
And if you think about the pieces that they chose.
Right, so Tony had.
So Tony, it was a Buddha that was in a statue that was in his home his entire life throughout childhood. And he remembers, he started to tell me, oh, my brother and I used to dress it up. We put lipstick on it. We used to hide behind it. You know, there were all these different stories. And he and I connected. I'm sort of in the business of connecting.
Right.
And we started to connect, and I knew so much about
And
his
with
life.
Usher, tell me about his story.
His was all about, oh, okay, you want me to tell you?
Okay. That was just an excuse to show him with no shirt on. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, can I just tell quickly when I went there to photograph him, he said, do you mind if I take my shirt off? And he was kind of like, no, I don't mind.
Nice play, nice play.
We were going in the pool.
What was his obsession?
Family.
Family.
And it's so him, and that
So can
family
your
and home
possession
and
obsession
home.
be family? That's what I was saying. I struggled
Yes.
with, because I truly
It could be
did look
anything
around
you
the
want it to
house.
be.
But is it supposed to be a person? Because at some point,
Right. Right. Well, I think that if
I couldn't even finish this
everyone,
sentence.
okay, so, but if everyone, I mean, I have kids, I'm a mom, so I get it. But I think that we have to remember that it's not, again, it's not a monetary value. It's if you all go home and you start to think about it and you open your drawer and you start to take out these little things, you'll start to say, oh, I remember I went to the fair and that was the day I spilled ice cream all over myself. Or I remember my mother used to have this. Or these little things just connect us. And that's how I got into the jewelry, designing the jewelry, because I started with the lockets, because the lockets really are the gateway to storytelling.
And we're going to talk about that coming up a little bit later in the show, because you gave me a locket, and on the locket,
and you Moses
inside, I have a Moses one you gave me, but my home, the childhood home photo, is inside this locket that I cherish so much. All right, so we are asking the question, what's your most prized possession? What right now comes to mind as your possession obsessions? Share the photos on our Instagram, TamronHallShow.com. Coming up, we're going to go in the audience and find out what some possession. Y'all had me crying because some of y'all brought in some things today. Monica's going to stick around, and we are going to reveal more members of the Tam family. I love it. Welcome back, welcome back. So all hour we've been talking about what's your possession obsession. It was inspired by the cover of a book that I was able to grace in 2016. And the question never gets old. What do you cherish the most? Not because of its value, but because it tells your journey, what it represents. And back with us is photographer and jewelry designer Monica Rich Kosan, whose book, A Possession Obsession, ignited this conversation 10 years ago. And we've not stopped asking the question. Okay, so we've heard the stories over the hour.
Amazing.
What is your possession obsession?
Oh boy, that's a fully loaded question. I have many. I have.
Can you have more than one?
Yes. Oh, definitely. We all have way more than one. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, for sure. You can have many, many possessions that, I mean, objects speak to you, right?
Yeah.
They tell stories. So I'm wearing my charm bracelet, for instance. So I started this, when I started it, I only started with one charm. I started with the compass.
Oh.
And the compass was to lead me on my journeys and sort of to help guide me. That's how I started. And then I have a half locket, and I put Carpe Diem in it. Oh. But I put different things in my lockets.
You write it there, okay.
Yeah, sometimes I put poems in, sometimes I put kids in. I just change it up all the time.
I love that. And see, that's the thing. Like my mom, she has a necklace, and it has each of her grandchildren's names, and Moses was the last added. And she said that completed her circle. So it can really, though, be anything that when you look at it, when you think about it, it tells you a story.
It connects you.
Connects you.
It's almost like, it's almost in a form, way of self-loving yourself and knowing who you are. It's
Have you been surprised by any of the answers over the years?
Yes, of course. And it really connects you. And I think that that's who we are. And that's what connects all of us.
All right, so
It's
speaking
these-
of all of us, I'm going to step over
Okay.
here and go into the audience because we asked before this show some of our audience members to bring with them their possession obsession. I'm gonna, oh, hello, Yellow Flower. I see. Okay. I already know your possession obsession, and it sent me into pure tears. What's your name? Where are you from?
I am Keisha Allen from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
All right, North Carolina. Now. All right. Monica, I don't think you know her possession obsession. I know what it is. You have it in your hand.
I do.
Tell us what it is.
My late mother, she didn't graduate from high school, but I am a doctoral person, and she created a grocery list for us. And in the grocery list, there are a few misspelled words, but I keep it with me. None of my siblings know of the 5, and it just reminds me of her, and I keep it with me.
So this was
everywhere.
your mom's handwritten shopping grocery list.
Yes, ma'am. And I've had it for 25 years.
For 25 years, you've carried this around. And they told me you keep it in your passport.
I do. Yeah, I just took it out for you.
I'm going to put it back in.
Yes, ma'am, right there.
And when you see that, what does it tell you? What is it?
It keeps her energy with me, and it reminds me.
Thank you. I love that. I love that story. Thank you. We have Mercedes from Queens, New York. You're with us, Mercedes. Again, I know, Monica, the answer. You don't know yet. You have this tapestry, and what does it represent for you?
My mother was diagnosed with cancer, and we shared the devotion of Our Lady of Guadalupe. She's a patron of Mexico, and she thought she wasn't going to be able to complete it, and me and her shared this devotion, and she was able to complete the pastry. And I always carry with me, and my children, wherever we travel, I actually have the medal as well.
Beautiful.
Hand stitch.
Hand stitched.
She struggled to complete it, and she was more worried about completing it than what's going on with her.
Where do you keep it now?
It's always with me in the house. It was supposed to be framed, and I refused to frame it because I just feel her hands.
Oh, I love it.
And because you can carry it,
yeah.
otherwise you wouldn't be able.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We have one more, John Patrick Cohn. Oh, hey, how are you? Sneak up on me there. Your possession obsession is this ring. Why?
Yes, it was my grandfather's family crest ring, and it was passed down, and it goes back to our family to the 4th century in Ireland. So it's very, it means a lot to me to be, so close to them.
Do you wear it every day?
Yes, I wear it every day. Keep this very, I remember my family. They all passed away, and the last male in the family left. So it's, it's nice to, keep in touch.
That is so, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, that you have set off a conversation, Monica, Rich, Constant. So here's the deal, Tam Fam. Monica wants you all to have something very special from her incredible jewelry line to cherish. So, as I shared with you, this is my locket. I have 2 others, one with a picture of Moses in it. I think they're around here. I cherish them because it does remind you of the things that matter. So guess what? You're all going home with a $100 gift card